Twisted toes, countless neck surgeries, and a sad dismissal from the only team he ever wanted to play for. Peyton Manning may be one of the greatest quarterbacks to play the game, but there's a dark side to his accomplishments. Manning had to overcome more than just challenges on the field to become one of the greatest football players of all time. The legendary quarterback was born with a congenital spinal cervical weakness, and a doctor warned that his neck curvature could prove problematic in the future. Manning managed to play without issue for almost 2 decades.
I've had this unbelievable string of health, and I've played 20 years of football, high school, college, and pro ball.
Unfortunately, that all changed in February 2010, when Manning had to undergo surgery for a pinched nerve in his neck. Then, in 2011, he herniated a disc and began experiencing weakness in his throwing arm. That May, he had surgery again, but the procedure left him with an even weaker throwing arm and difficulty gripping. In an interview with the Washington Post, Manning recalled how he pushed doctors to take a closer look. It was good he did, because he had re-herniated the disc and needed yet another surgery. It was by no means a golden cure. The first time he tried to throw a football afterwards, Manning said the ball nosedived after a few yards. The football great would ultimately undergo 4 neck surgeries in 19 months. After several unsuccessful surgeries to address the pinched nerve in his neck, Manning finally opted for a more effective procedure in September 2011. This new procedure involved removing the damaged disc from Manning's spinal cord, filling the space with a bone graft, and fusing the 2 vertebrae together using a plate and screws. Initially, the results appeared less promising than those from his prior surgeries. When doctors recommended Manning throw darts to build up his arm strength, Manning said it was easier said than done. He told the Washington Post, "I could barely get the thing to stick." He was a long way away from being able to throw a football like he once did, and rumors of retirement began swirling. But Manning's doctor kept hope, and he offered a promising update that December. Manning's neck had fully healed. Unfortunately, his recovery may have been a bit too slow for Indianapolis Colts owner Jim Irsay. Manning's back-to-back neck operations forced him to miss the 2011 NFL season, but he was far from ready to retire. As he quietly worked to regain his strength post-op, Indianapolis Colts owner Jim Irsay told ESPN in February 2012 that he was happy for Manning to stay with the team. At the same time, though, Irsay noted that Manning hadn't passed a physical exam. Come March, he decided to drop the quarterback after 14 seasons. While Irsay didn't give a precise reason for the choice, it's easy to imagine that Manning's health played a critical role. What we do know for sure, however, is that it's not what Manning wanted. He told ESPN, "There is no other team I wanted to play for."
My goals were, I think, like what any NFL player should have as a goal, was to play your entire career with the team that drafted you.
Following his dismissal from the Colts, Manning joined the Denver Broncos in 2012. Watching him play, fans would be hard-pressed to criticize his impressive recovery, and yet it was anything but easy. In a 2013 interview with WATE-TV, Manning admitted that getting back to his old self was harder than he'd planned, saying, "I still have certain challenges. I have learned to adjust and compensate in the state that I am." As it turns out, following his initial surgery in early 2011, Manning found it hard to hold a football, let alone throw or catch one. At the gym, he could only trained with 5-pound dumbbells. When he tried to throw a ball with brother Eli, he performed so poorly that, as Peyton revealed to the Washington Post, his brother told him, "It looks like you can't finish the throw and get anything on it." What's more, he struggled to hit any sort of mark. Manning recalled to the outlet, "It's hard to explain, but I kind of lost awareness of my arm in space." It wasn't until after his final fusion surgery that Manning started pushing his performance back to normal, but it took time and dedication. He essentially had to relearn how to play football. For help, Manning turned to Duke head coach David Cutcliffe. Together, they got to work, starting small to get his strength back. In 2015, Peyton Manning showed ESPN firsthand just how taxing football can be on a player's body. As the outlet followed the MVP into the locker room after a game, it noted how Manning needed 15 minutes just to undress, as even the most basic task caused him pain. Whether it was bending down to take off his shoe or lifting his arms to remove his shoulder pads, the star quarterback was in obvious discomfort at the slightest of movements. ESPN also noted how Manning was covered in cuts and bruises, and documented how his toes were twisted due to decades of playing football. Manning's storied NFL career ended in 2016 after 18 impressive years with the league. As Manning delivered his retirement speech and fought back tears, it was clear that walking away from football was an emotional decision. During the speech, the quarterback became choked up as he thanked his hometown of New Orleans, his coaches, teammates, and fans. He then shifted the focus to his family, saying,
"There is no way to measure or properly express what a family like mine can mean."
Manning concluded that while he would greatly miss the game, he knew it was the right time to walk away. He said,
"I fought a good fight. I finished my football race. And after 18 years, it's time."